What's up, YouTube? I'm back again. So today I just really wasn't feeling it. I don't know. I'm just feeling kind of blah. Just kind of down. There's no really reason for it. I'm just waiting for this Wellbutrin I just started taking to kick in pretty soon. But anyways, so someone had asked me about, my last video about how, oh, this is a disaster. Sorry, guys. So anyway, so someone had asked me about, how I said that when I tried shooting up heroin for the first time, that I knew then that it was going to be, something I would do anything for at that point. But then they want to know about what made me stop. So I figured I would talk about the time that when I relapsed. So that would have been August of 2016. And before that, I had actually been, I was working at KFC Taco Bell, and there was this guy there that I knew, and he offered me the drugs, and then he also offered to buy like needles and stuff for me, and he stashed them behind the dang garbage behind a dumpster. So stupid. So anyway, so I had been using, and then he didn't have anything, and I had been talking with Mike, and he was still obviously down in Detroit, and I really wanted to see him, and I was missing him real bad. And so I decided I was going down to Detroit because that was it. I wanted to see him, and I wanted to use. And so then I had to lie to my grandma and tell her that I was going to meet up with one of my friends. And then I started walking to Burger King, which is where the Indian Trails bus picks up and drives to Detroit. So I went there. I had some random person pick me up and give me a ride to Burger King on the way there. And I hopped on the bus and went downstate. And when I met up with Mike, when I actually told him, I called him and told him I was on the bus, and he didn't believe me. And I said, oh yeah, I'm on the bus and I'm coming down there right now. And so then I went down there, and it was kind of just, he had dope right away when I got off the bus. So that was what I wanted, even though I wanted to see him. Really, the actual reason was because I wanted the drugs too, and seeing him also brought the drugs. So, because there was never a time that after we started using that we were together, we didn't use. So anyways, so I used with him. Obviously we used, and then I can't really exactly remember what happened, but I know that we got probably into a fight or something, and I went, and he wouldn't let me up into his apartment with him. And so then I went and met up with I met this guy on the side of the road at like West Grand Boulevard, and Verner, I think it was Verner and West Grand Boulevard. And so then he took me to a spot, and I bought some crack, and then I brought it back to Mike and smoked it with him and whatever. Anyway, so I kept missing the bus. I kept telling my mom I was coming back, or telling my grandma I was coming back, and then I would say I was missing the bus. And then I had these dates that were buying me bus tickets, and then they would like meet me at the bus station, and I wouldn't show up, or I would get the bus ticket and then I would just ignore it, just hold on to it or something, not even take it. So that went on for about a week before finally, there was nowhere for me to actually stay with him. And he lived with this guy, this older guy, so he couldn't actually have me staying there with him too. And so then I finally did actually make the bus back up here. I just made a decision, that there was just nothing. I ended up getting robbed. I had some I had some partials, some teeth, and the guy that I did a date with gave me some heroin and stole everything else. Took everything. I got out of the car. And then he took off with my purse and my phones and left me with just some stupid fucking heroin. And then when I brought it back to Mike, he was like, oh, well, did you get the guy's number? I said, I wasn't thinking about getting his number when he's fucking robbed me, dude. So anyways, I was upset about that. So that was just a shitty experience. Then we used that dope, and then I left again. I said I was going to go get some money or whatever I said. And I met up with this guy who picked me up on the road. I didn't know him. He was this older black man, and he gave me $100 and then took me to the Crest, and we smoked crack and, you know, had sex. And then I got dropped back off where Mike was at, and I had the money, and I didn't have any drugs at that point. And so he was a little bit upset that I didn't have any money, but then he was glad, or he was upset I didn't have any drugs, but he was glad I had money. So we were able to get some drugs after that. Man, my camera was just looking really weird. So anyways, then finally I just decided, you know, I had to come back up here. And I came back up here, and I was really dope sick. And I ended up calling the guy who had been getting me drugs at KFC Taco Bell the whole time. And he also wanted to do stuff with me and, like, have sex with me and shit for that stuff. And so then I messaged him, and he was saying, when I got back up here, he was saying, like, you know, get your sexy ass over here or something. And I said, I'm so sick, I can't even move right now. And so then he rode his pedal bike over here and brought me some Suboxone and a needle to, you know, brought me the works and everything. And then I used that, and I continued to use the Suboxone until I get into a rehab. And when I went to rehab, you know, it was really good. I only did 30 days there, even though I wanted to stay longer. But it was really helpful to me. And, you know, I met a lot of really great people there, a lot of people that I'm still friends with today. And you know, it was really a good experience. The counselors were all really helpful and supportive, and, you know, everything was really good. And so then I left rehab and came home, and I got out of rehab on September 6th, 2016, and never have used heroin since then. And so then I started going to meetings, so many meetings. I went to like 3 or 4 meetings a week. You know, it was really important to me to go to meetings because they really helped me. They helped me stay grounded. They helped me be able to talk about stuff, you know, and if I was struggling or if I was really upset and I want to go use, I would go talk to people about it in the meetings, and met a lot of good support people there too. And that's actually where I met Mike, who is my baby's father. We met at a meeting, and I know they say that you're not supposed to do that, but it turned out really good. So, yeah, I guess I just had to make the decision. I just finally, something just snapped inside of me. You know, I had all these bad experiences happen in this short little period of time, this week that I was down there trying to, you know, score some shit and spend time with him. And me and him just were having our problems like we usually did. And, you know, the scoring shit was just turning out really fucked up. And I just finally decided to come back home. And, you know, even when I wanted to go back down there, I was always asking him to come up here. You know, I didn't want to really go back down there because I knew if I went down there, it would be the same thing. I would go jumping into some guy's cars or, you know, sucking dick for money. And, you know, it just didn't fit who I wanted to be. And, you know, I mean, I was really, really bad in that shit. And I was almost dead several times. There's so many terrible things happened to me when I was down there. And so I just felt like I had had enough. And that's that. And that's the way it's going to stay. You know, even when I'm tempted today, even when anybody is tempted today, don't ever think that that's a good idea. Because even like today, I felt like so shitty and like depressed and everything. But the problem of getting high is that, so I feel better for what? A few hours. And then at the end of that, when that shit's gone, then you feel worse again. And it doesn't even really make anything better. It makes shit worse. It makes things even worse. Even when you felt bad, it makes it even worse. So that's what I have to tell myself every day. And that's, you know, that's my mantra. You know, I have to tell myself that sometimes every minute, you know, 1 minute at a time, 1 day at a time. Sometimes it's too much for me. So I just take it slow and make it happen. And, you know, it's what's best for me. And even on my bad days, you know, it's a silly cliche, but even on my bad days sober, is better than my best day high, because it's just being high. There was just nothing good about it. Even, it felt good. Sure, it felt great. It's like the best feeling. Oh my gosh, so good. But that feeling is not lasting. It does not stay. It does not ever stay. And so you just have to think about that. I have to think about that constantly because, any minute, any day, something could happen. I could have some temptation and somebody could offer me some shit. And I could be weak enough to say yes to that. So I have to remind myself that I need to stay strong for myself and for my baby, because she's really important to me and she's what matters. Because, if I wasn't able to do it for myself, having her, last year was just like my miracle. It's just like I'm just so blessed to have her. So I just can't imagine if I was using, I would never even have been pregnant. So that's all I gotta say for now, guys. And my data is really messed up, so it's gonna probably take a long time for this to upload. But when Mike gets home, I'll try and get his hotspot on. I already used my grandma's all her data up, but she doesn't know. So, okay, guys, don't forget subscribe and hit the bell below if you haven't already. All right, thanks. Bye.